To make it clear from my perspective, I'm not like some Kardashian super fan or anything, but I do like their show. I'm not going to deny that, and I do think that they're all, I mean, pretty okay people. Kim does a lot of charity work. She's probably the most annoying person on the show. She's really whiny, and I like her the least out of all of the girls, but she does work very hard, and if you watch the show, you can see that she works like, 16 to 18-hour days, and she gets like no sleep, and she at least is working for her money. In if you look at, bankers and stuff and the way that they make their money, they're not contributing anything. At least she's providing some kind of entertainment for some people who enjoy it, and she's making money that way. So, you know what? There's different reasons why you might have different opinions of her. So, whatever. But I just wanted to touch on a few of the reasons why people say that they hate the Kardashians so much, and talk about why most of it is just bullshit, and it's a mask for jealousy, which is the motivation behind most hatred for famous people and celebrities. So first of all, the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard about Kim Kardashian is that she deceived the American public, and this is such a ridiculous concern because yeah, maybe she had a fake wedding. I'm not convinced that it was fake. I really don't think that the wedding was fake at all, actually. But maybe she had a really short marriage. So what? I mean, if you're really that upset about the American public being deceived, then why don't you pay more attention to your government, who is like shitting and pissing all over your constitution, and your president, who just signed in a law that makes it so that American citizens can be detained without trial for their entire lives. Why don't you take a look at that kind of deception that's going on in your own country and that really affects your life, as opposed to paying so much attention to Kim Kardashian's fake wedding? Like, who gives a shit? Who really cares? And on the topic of fakeness, the next point, which is one of the arguments I hear all the time about Kim Kardashian, is that she's fake, okay? Anyone with eyes can tell that her boobs are real. I've got no interest in boobs, and even I know that her boobs are real. You've seen her naked in the W magazine thing where she was covered in the silver paint or whatever. Her boobs are obviously real. Anybody who's seen fake boobs and real boobs can tell that those are real. Her ass definitely looks real too, and she even went on TV and did an x-ray to prove that her butt is real. Okay, so you don't need to even further that argument. It's completely ridiculous. It's not true at all. It's completely unfounded. And face-wise, she's admitted to trying Botox, and she said before that she is not opposed to plastic surgery, and she probably will have plastic surgery when she gets older, but she hasn't done it yet. So I have no reason to doubt that she hasn't done it, because she said openly that she's not opposed to it, and she'll probably do it later. I mean, look at her mom. She's clearly not morally opposed to plastic surgery. She clearly doesn't care. And then if you look at Courtney, for example, had breast implants. She's been totally open about it. I think if Kim was going to deny having plastic surgery, she wouldn't go around saying, I'll probably have it later and I've already had Botox. She wouldn't go around saying that. That doesn't make any sense. And for people who want to say that her ass is the result of injections, man, that has to be a lot of injections. Have you seen how small a needle is? Even the biggest needle, okay? You would need like 6 of them to make something that was even worthwhile for an ass injection. Have you seen how big her hips are? She wanted to inject an ass into that. It would be like a fucking entire cake they would have to stuff inside her ass or something. It's just not, injections are not a viable option for that. So imagining that she did have plastic surgery, even if she did, so what? Who cares? What's the fucking point of getting all upset over it? Some bitch in Hollywood had plastic surgery. Who the fuck cares? Nobody gives a shit. Doesn't affect your life at all. Why does it matter to you that she's fake? She's not the first person in Hollywood who's ever had plastic surgery, so get over it, okay? The next point is that they're overexposed. Now, I see where this argument comes from, but it really doesn't matter how many TV shows they have because, I mean, there's this revolutionary concept I'm going to introduce you to that you actually don't have to watch things that you don't like. And I know that that's going to be a shock to you. I mean, you're probably going to be taken aback, and I hope that you were sitting down for that because I apologize, I didn't prepare you properly. You really don't have to watch things you don't like. And this is something that people really don't understand. I mean, the concept of to each their own, I mean, it's just such a difficult concept for some people. Some people like it. Let them watch it. Leave them alone. Some people don't like it. Don't force it on them. Nobody's forcing it on you. Nobody's making you watch Kim Kardashian's show. So just stop watching it if you don't like it. If it makes you angry, like, maybe don't watch the E! channel because they have commercials for it all the time. Or just become a normal person and stop being so obsessed with them. It doesn't really matter whether they're on TV or not. You don't have to watch them. Nobody's forcing you to. And I know plenty of people who watch TV, who go on the internet, who know nothing about the Kardashians, and they don't care. They don't have a fervent hate for them, and they don't have a obsessive love for them because they don't care about them. They don't pay attention to them. And it's possible to not pay attention to them. So don't give me the they're impossible to avoid bullshit, because that's not true. And a really funny point, some people say that they're ruining American culture. What the fuck is American culture? Is it like inspired by the secrets of the Big Mac sauce or something? There's no concrete American culture. Like, there's nothing that you can actually say that, like, this represents Americans, because America was founded on the principles of freedom of religion and freedom of choice, and the ability to live your life how you want it to, and the ability to, have people immigrate from all different countries and have sort of an amalgamation or a melting pot of the different belief systems and different cultures and everything put together. And that's what America was founded on. So America doesn't really have a definitive culture. And if it did, it's already not that great. So and even if it was amazing, even if America had this amazing, shining culture, Kim Kardashian or the Kardashians as a whole are not going to ruin it single-handedly. You're the ones who are paying attention to them. You're the ones who are making them famous. The more you watch their TV shows, the more you complain about them, the more you sign petitions about them, you're only making them more famous. All publicity is good publicity for them. This is someone who had a sex tape and became more famous because of it. You think a little petition is going to stop her from being famous? No, the more you put her name in your mouth, the more famous you're making her. So if you really don't like her that much, you would just ignore her. But no, you people are obsessed with her. That's the difference. You don't dislike the Kardashians. You are obsessed with them. You have a fervent hatred for them that is fueled by your obsession and your envy and your you're filled with hate, and I don't understand where that comes from and why you... for example, I posted a comment on a Kardashian video a few weeks ago. This morning, somebody replied to my one comment, I think 7 or 8 times. I don't understand that. Why take all that time? At some point, doesn't YouTube stop you and say you're commenting too much, put in this combination of numbers and letters or whatever? They actually sat there and did that so that they could reply to my comment 7 times? That's just, it's too much. It's too much. You're doing a little bit too much there. I don't understand that concept. And, oh yeah, something I didn't write down about the sex tape. God. People have sex tapes all the time. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. Your mom has probably recorded having sex once. And... sorry for the disturbing visual, but for a lot of people in the modern times, that's true. Your mom probably has recorded herself having sex at one point, or sent a sexy picture to your dad or something like that, or her boyfriend, or whatever, what have you. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. Everyone has sex tapes nowadays. And the thing about Kim Kardashian's sex tape is that Ray J actually released it without her consent, and she actually filed a lawsuit to try and stop it from being released. But it failed. So for you to blame her for the sex tape is kind of misogynistic, because she's actually the one who tried to prevent it from being sold. So you're kind of blaming the woman for something that was not her fault. That's like when people blame women for being raped. It wasn't her fault. And yes, she might make money off of it, but okay, so someone's going to release a sex tape for you of you, and you can't stop it from being released even though you've tried to sue them. So wouldn't you want to make money off of it if it's going to be out there anyway? Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to make money off of it if it's going to be out there? It doesn't make any sense. It would be very stupid not to make money off of a sex tape that you are featured in if it's going to be out there anyway and you can't stop it. Makes no sense. So, and even even if she willingly put the sex tape out, who gives a fuck? Who cares? She's not famous because of the sex tape. Again, she's famous because you pay attention to her. There are plenty of celebrities who've had sex tapes who didn't become very famous afterwards. There was one chick who was on Survivor once, and she had a sex tape with some guy who she got married to. Nobody knows who that bitch is anymore. There's so many people who have had sex tapes, so many celebrities, and nobody cares about them. It's not just the sex tape that made her famous, so no matter how many times you say that, it doesn't make it true. What makes her famous is that you're paying attention to her. And that's pretty much the whole thesis of this argument. The original video was a lot more structured, but unfortunately the audio wasn't recorded, so yeah. If you have any questions or comments, I would like to see them. And I want to have civilized conversation about this because I'm getting really sick of people yelling at each other, and I think I'm just going to start deleting comments if I see things that are just rude or ignorant or stupid, because it's just not worth even talking to people who are just going to be ignorant about everything and just yell at people for no reason and start swearing and calling people names and stuff. So yeah, if you want to comment something that is, actually intelligible and you have like a legitimate opinion on this subject, for or against, I would love to hear it.